Good morning, and thank you so much for watching right now here on the CBS 8 app. I am Chris Gros. Today is Friday. It is April 10th. Also, should note that it is the second round of the Masters, something that we will be discussing shortly in a little bit. You might think that I'm a little bit excited for that, especially as we head into the weekend. Jack Holt joining me here in the Masters green. Jack, third and final round coverage on CBS 8.
This is my green jacket.
Yeah,
Did I earn it? No. I might have the Masters playing on the side screen here, but you know what? You're not going to see it on here. Who cares?
That's right.
So, yeah, it's been super exciting. A great day yesterday for sports, especially here in San Diego. We'll talk about the Padres. If you went to bed early, I know I was one of those people, you missed out. I woke up at 3 a.m. thinking that not knowing who was going to win that game, but I knew it was 1-1 going into the eighth inning. I was like, wow, this is a barn burner we got. I'm going to go to bed, get ready for Friday. And lo and behold, an incredible game that we saw last night in San Diego.
Yeah, it was awesome. And of course, we'll get to that a little bit later here in the show. But what we are going to start with right now, of course, has been the thing that so many people have been talking about. And that includes here throughout the mission that has been going on. And that has been the Artemis II mission making its return to Earth. Of course, the Orion capsule set to splash down on the coast of San Diego around 5:07 p.m. You can see the estimated entry interface there. It's about 2,000 miles there. The landing area, just about 50 to 70 miles off of our coast. So that is quite the ways that it will be going.
And it's going to cover that distance fast.
Yeah, covering that distance very fast. Our Tori Apodaca has been on the story all morning long about the, again, involvement here from the U.S. Navy stationed in San Diego, what it is that they will be doing. We know that the USS Mirtha is 50 to 70 miles here off of our coast getting ready. She's actually going to join us on the other side of this report to just talk about what it is that she was reporting on this morning. But first, let's go ahead and give you a glimpse of what she saw this morning.
The U.S. Navy here is really playing a critical role in the recovery of the 4 astronauts and the Orion space capsule. Right now, the USS John P. Mirtha is already in position out at sea, with a couple hundred sailors and more than 100 NASA employees on board. They're set with mobile dive teams who will open the capsule, get them onto a floating raft, and then helicopters will take them to the ship for medical care. A U.S. Navy helicopter squadron based out of Naval Air Station North Island will assist in tracking the capsule while it travels through Earth's atmosphere. NASA says the capsule is expected to splash down in the ocean about 50 miles offshore, roughly between San Clemente Island and Catalina Island. An exciting moment for San Diegans and the world.
We've been working on this with NASA for about 12 years, working up to this day. They come in really fast and they have parachutes that deploy. So by the time the actual capsule splashes down in the water, they're only going about 20 miles an hour.
I'd love to see some astronauts waving at me, but
if you do want to capture history, the best place to try and catch a glimpse of Artemis II flying through the sky is going to be off the coast at a SoCal beach. Again, that splashdown expected to happen at 5:07 Friday evening. For now, reporting in Coronado, I'm Tori Apodaca.
All right, and
so exciting.
Yeah, I was just going to say, very exciting to be a part of this, but all the way from Coronado, right here into the Right Now studios, is Tori Apodaca. So, Tori, thank you so much. I mean, I know it was very early in the morning, and you were there just right outside of North Island. Did you kind of sense a bit of excitement there in the atmosphere, our atmosphere, if you will, as we are getting closer and closer to 5:07 p.m.?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of excitement just all around between even just our newsroom, people out in Coronado. I mean, this is something that none of us have seen in a very long time. Some of us not even in our lifetimes, in my lifetime. So this is definitely, it's a big deal. Yeah. And to have the U.S. Navy involved like this, I mean, to know that they've been working on this mission, this recovery mission, for over a decade, they say, a lot has gone into this.
Yeah. So from what you have been able to kind of work on here so far, we know that the USS Mirtha is stationed out there already. What does this entail? I mean, this. I think for all of us, it's been so long since we've seen, obviously, a manned mission to the moon in terms of the country. And granted, this was, the journey around the moon. They went further than any manned space mission has gone before. But what does this entail? Because the Navy is playing a pretty key role here on a number of different fronts.
They are. It starts with the naval base out there on the island. They are going to be the ones tracking everything in real time, the capsule moving through space, moving back down onto Earth, and then coordinating with the people that are then on the ground with Martha. Yeah. They have to have their dive teams go into the water to get both the astronauts out of the capsule and then also recover the capsule, put them on the floating devices, and then there's even the air that's helping. We have the helicopters that have to move in and move the astronauts from the water onto the ship. So there's definitely a lot of different moving parts. And I think what's crazy is we always throw around this term rocket science. Well, this is like literal rocket science we're seeing happening before our very eyes today.
I think one of the things that, like, as we've been covering this story, one of the facts, and I don't know about you guys, that has just been kind of crazy to me has been like the heat shield, right? Because when you're re-entering atmosphere, you're going 24,000 miles per hour, I believe is the amount. The outside of the capsule gets about as hot as I believe it's half of the degrees of the
5,000 degrees Fahrenheit,
which is half of what the surface of the sun is. And the heat shields, which are meant to sort of, again, deflect that and keep everybody inside safe, they kind of fell off during the Artemis I test flight. And so instead of like improving that and taking it, they said, and I don't mean to say that they didn't try to improve it, but instead of changing it, they decided we're just going to change like the reentry point. We're going to calculate the different distance. Like that's how precise they have to be because they can't afford for obviously a manned flight to have those heat shields fall off. I mean, when you're going through this story, especially when you're talking about the reentry part of it, this is as big as any part of this Artemis mission.
Yeah, and I think it's something that not a lot of people consider because it is getting to space. It is fighting gravity. That is the thing that, at least in my mind, is the top of the what can go wrong list, And you mentioned it, the idea of it is literal rocket science. It kind of goes counterintuitive because you mentioned the heat shield was a little uneven in how it processed the heat that first time around. In my mind, I'm like, okay, let's make a better one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in my mind, I'm like, let's get rid of this heat shield, right?
But there are, potentially easier solutions that do exist there, more cost-effective solutions. So, that's going to be the thing that a lot of people are paying attention to as it happens. Tori, also, we might hear the re-entry here. Isn't that correct?
The boom, the atomic boom.
Sonic boom. Yeah.
Hopefully not an atomic.
Sorry.
Whoa. Fingers crossed we don't get an atomic
Artemis,
boom today.
Sorry. Sonic boom. But yeah, no, I think that is going to be the big thing that we could be hearing anywhere between like the 5-10 minutes following it too. That 5:07 mark.
And I was hearing there was I believe it was a researcher with UC San Diego who was saying that like they're going to be using the information that they gather about this sonic boom to improve what it is that we know about the sound, the traveling of sound, the speed. The UGS, the Geological Survey is very interested in the USGS. So this is like so crazy because they went through like what all of the different things that like space travel has improved like in our technology and our day-to-day life. And to hear that like, something is not trivial, but like to me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to hear a big boom. But to me, I'm just like, it's a big boom. But like researchers are like, yes, this big boom, super important. We analyze, and they want people to like call in. They want to know how far it traveled in terms of the area from which it actually made reentry. Because again, it's going to be making reentry about 2,000 miles off of our coast. But then, as you pointed out, Jack, it's going to be booming towards us really quickly, as you see here on the screen. So looks like, Hawaii. I can pass my geography test there. So that's where it's going to be entering our atmosphere. But then it is going to be barreling towards us. Tori, one of the things that a lot of people have been kind of curious about, and when people are going to want to see the Orion capsule Saturday morning, Is that going to be closer to North Island or Naval Base San Diego? I know for our midday show, you guys are going to be going to Naval Base San Diego, right? 32nd Street, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be at Naval Base San Diego because that's actually where the ship is.
That'll be where the ship. Okay, that'll be taken.
That is the group. That Navy base is where it's happening.
Yeah, I know. I believe it's outside the Rady Shell that a lot of people Saturday morning might be kind of crowded around to see the actual capsule, the Orion capsule, be brought in, which will be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this has just been one of those things that I know a lot of people have just been like nerding out about, especially when you talk about the mission. So I don't know how much of this you guys have had a chance to kind of go through, but the actual mission itself, while it's been in space, has been amazing. Tori, have you had a chance to kind of sift through some of the images that have come through? I was just gonna say we're looking at our feed here. Was that one of the live?
Yeah, we got a live shot. Let's take a look at that right now.
Image here. And this is space, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, this is so cool. This is on their way in. Tori, when you're getting ready for a story like this, and you're kind of going through like all the prep stuff, did curiosity strike you? Were you just kind of like going through some of the mission facts and photos, and what did you think about all of this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's still something that's so hard to honestly wrap my head around because it just is so outside of my scope. We're talking about space. But yeah, it's been remarkable. And I think with today's technology too, to have like the live feeds from inside is really cool. It gives us just a different perspective into all of it. And I think kind of like how you were saying, these scientists, they're really looking at every single like moment of this mission, from launch to when they're going to be splashing down, and they're gathering so much data that will help us for years and years to come to accomplish some of these big endeavors that NASA has.
Yeah, it is. Again, I hate to use the pun, but like out of this world when you think about this is one of the many images that obviously they've been able to take. I know that being able to go ahead and capture some of the images here of the far side of the moon, which again, something that oftentimes referenced in pop culture, music, and sci-fi and things like that, but actually to be able to be the first humans to see some of that parts of that with their own eyes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And to think about another thing, which, is no other human has been as far away from Earth as they were. The maximum distance was over 250,000 miles. That beats the Apollo 13 record in 1970 by over 4,000 miles. And it's all thanks to these guys, the space crew, really one of the more daring missions that you see, that we've seen in modern history, I feel like it's in some ways unfairly compared to the actual concept of standing on the moon. We think of Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong is one of those names that is etched in history, whereas there were many astronauts that did these lunar flybys. You talk about, I believe it was Apollo 8, of course, about Apollo 13, but, to really be that far, at least you're going into a body that has a gravitational pull. You are in this trip, and we have the live feed right here. You are going far behind the moon. That's a scary feeling because, if that gravity doesn't hold, you're going out. And that's a really incredible thing to see people do that, to continue to push that limit and get further and further out. It's great.
Do you guys you guys have seen Finding Nemo, right?
Yes,
okay.
I have.
Right. Okay.
I know. Many times.
It reminds me, because that's on loop at the house right now, as you might imagine. It reminds me of when Marlin is catching Nemo in the class, going to the shelf or whatever, the deep end, basically, right? The end of the coral reef. And it's like, there's the boat. Let's go touch the boat. And they're like, no, don't go touch the boat. But like Nemo goes and he touches the boat and then he comes back. Like that idea of like going out past the moon, past the depths of like comfortability and going where, remember, Apollo 13 had to travel that distance because they had malfunctions. They were not able to land on the moon. They had to go ahead and take that route around the moon to safely land because they had that explosion that took place on the second day of their trip. So yeah, like to kind of bring it back to like Disney standards, if you will, it's like going out, testing your limits, which is what this is all about. But yeah, that's like so scary to think that like you're going somewhere that, again, like no one has ever gone before. Like quite literally, yes, you are not walking on the moon, but you're going out beyond the depths of space that no one has gone before. I think of the movie Gravity, for instance, you know, where that puts that in perspective, obviously, where things can go wrong, but just that floating in space, right? Like just that wondering, hey, all right, we're trying to get home. Martian, obviously, with Matt Damon. All of these.
The Martian is the biggest comparison I see, because going back to that route, you know, you think about the slingshot technique. And that's exactly what we saw here. The loop around the Earth, you know, using gravity as an accelerant, as an accelerator on this trip, you know. And it's just, you know, it's constantly, you know, hitting a moving target in that, you know, that trajectory. I think it's easy to assume you just go up and you're there. You know, it is far from that. You're dealing with an X-axis, you're dealing with a Y-axis, you're dealing with a Z-axis. You know, this is three-dimensional space. You're dealing with different rotations. It's a two-body system. It's, you know, I've been so amazed. It has reinvigorated an interest. And I think that was part of the intent, because this is not the only one that we're going to see here. This is really just the start of what we're going to see here in the future.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of personal interest, before we take our first break, any plans for watching tonight? And if so, watch parties at home, taking the nap that we all need as we work the morning shift. 5:07 p.m. Where are we going to find Tori? Where are we going to find you? At home?
You know, probably. So my parents are visiting actually this weekend.
All right.
So we had dinner plans, but now I'm wondering if we
Yeah,
need
right?
to adjust them a little
You could do
bit.
dinner. Isn't Coronado is maybe see if you could get a late reservation in Coronado, walk down by the beach, you know?
Because it's happening right here. It's like,
happening.
how could we not
I know.
at least try to, you know, be there out there on the beach and
I think for us, we're just gonna like stay home. Like we're just gonna kind of maybe go grill by the pool, but then like 5:07 p.m. I think we're gonna have the TVs on. I don't think we're gonna get out with the watch parties. It sounds fun, but I just don't think we're gonna manage the crowds today. My wife texted me. She's like, I have workout class at like 4:30. Do you think I'll be able to make it? I'm like, there's no takebacks. This isn't TiVo. Like, so you either get the spin class in or you don't. So
I don't know.
We'll
Does the spin class work the same way though? Is there takebacks on that?
What would be cool is if the spin class had it on, right? Like I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like put it on during class and like, you know, jam out to some good like Space Odyssey music.
You know you make a great point. It's unfortunate that this is in the afternoon, because this is such a great day to take like 3 hours of school and just watch this instead of like doing your classes.
Absolutely.
There was a few days like that where it's like, it could not have come at a better time. A day where it's like you got a lot of homework, you don't want to get a class, then all of a sudden it's a movie day. You know, this is a prime opportunity for that. So sorry for the kids out there that, you know, still have to do their schoolwork today.
Like when the sub would walk in with the TV and the stand, right?
We
have a cultural event happening today, folks. Your first, second, and third period is canceled.
Exactly. Some of the best days.
Awesome. Well, Tori, thank you so much for joining us here in studio and helping us break down San Diego's role here in this historic moment, this mission here, as we are getting ready for Artemis II and the Orion capsule to touchdown here in San Diego.